Mic'd up.
Ready to mic'd up from the PGA Tour. This week it's the final leg of the FedEx Cup Playoffs from the Tour Championship at East Lake Golf Club, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm John Rager, your mic'd up PJ broadcaster, and your host of this episode called Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report, coming to you from our mic'd up studio in St. Augustine, Florida. Not only will we hear about the weather forecast, which always plays an integral part of the outcome, we'll also include some banter about some of the special things surrounding this event, including the significance of a golfer from yesteryear known as Bobby Jones. Now it's time for Wild Bill Siro from the Backyard Golf Association in Gainesville, Florida, for his week's take on the golf weather from the Tour Championship.
Woo! And hello, Coach. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ATL, the Big A, and many may say A-Town, the city in the forest, Dogwood City, and the city too busy to hate. This week, Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report is reporting live remotely as always as we follow the PGA Tour to East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia for the final week of the FedEx Cup Playoffs, the 2026 Tour Championship, and the quest for the FedEx Cup. But first, as always, some interesting peachy fun facts about Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia has a massive tree canopy. The National Forest Service has named Atlanta the most heavily forested urban area in the United States, with trees covering roughly 48% of the city. That's tremendous. Tremendous.
I'll tell you what, I used to live in Gainesville. You're there in Gainesville. That's Tree City in Gainesville. I mean, you can't, you try to chop down a tree and people literally come up and hug the trees and chain themselves to it.
Yes, they do.
Big urban sprawl, and they've got that much foliage up there.
48%. But Atlanta also has a peach tree paradox. The city has over 70 streets with Peachtree in their name, such as Peachtree Avenue, Peachtree Road, Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, Peachtree Plaza. However, the city in the forest actually has no native peach trees in it. Historians actually believe the name evolved from a Native American settlement on the, I got ready for this, on the Pacakanuhuli Creek with standing pitch trees.
What did you just say?
It's an Indian name for the name of this creek. It's Pakanahuli. Pakanahuli.
Oh, thank you
Creek.
for clarifying that. All right.
With standing pitch trees that were used for sap and pitch. So they used to use pine trees with all that resin to build ships and make them watertight and stuff like that. And so the native settlers thought they were saying peach instead of pitch, which was mispronounced over time to peach tree. Now, the remedy for this century-long joke of Atlanta having no actual peach trees, even though they have over 70 plus rows with the name Peachtree in them, a nonprofit organization has teamed up with the Pearson Farms to physically drop 16 living 8-foot peach trees directly on the Peachtree Street in crates. Okay. Eventually, the plan is to plant them directly on the sidewalks of downtown Atlanta. Are you ready for this? Now, I'm wondering if the city really thought this out. Peach trees not only grow peaches, but they also drop peaches. They drop rotting peaches. And rotting peaches are very slippery. And I'm pretty sure the lawyers are going to adopt and fertilize every one of those darn trees. It was a tremendous story going on here, John. A tremendous story. Now, back to golf, okay? Now, East Lake Golf Club was established in 1904 and is Atlanta's oldest golf course and historic home of the legendary amateur golfer Bobby Jones, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
What do you know about Bobby Jones, John?
Well, greatest amateur golfer of all time. Bobby Jones established with Clifford Roberts, the Augusta National Golf Club. And also, he was a great attorney in his own right also. So, yeah, he's from Atlanta, grew up there at East Lake. And there's been golf movies made about Bobby Jones. So, yeah, he's some of the younger viewers, they may only have studied him in 8th grade history or something like that, as far as doing an autobiography.
If that.
I know my son did that when he was in 8th grade, wrote an autobiography about Bobby Jones. But yeah, that in a nutshell, Bobby Jones, who he is.
There he goes. This redesigned Donald Ross course is steeped in tradition of Southern elegance and golf history, a challenging championship layout that rewards strategic shot placement over raw power. East Lake typically plays as a par 72, stretching out over 7,500 yards for the members. but undergoes a unique transformation for the PGA Tour season-ending Tour Championship, where it is modified to a par 70, playing at 7,440 yards by converting the first and the 14th holes from par fives into grueling par fours. East Lake Golf Club protects itself from modern long hitting professional drivers by dynamic course defense mechanics, including firm contoured greens with undulating
That
surfaces.
sounds like something from the Defense Department. What
It
was that
does, doesn't
dynamic?
it?
What? Say that
Unique
again. What?
slopes. Yeah, okay, all right. East Lake Golf Club protects itself from modern, long hitting professional drivers by dynamic course defense mechanics, including firm contoured greens with undulating surfaces, unique slopes, and plateaus that repel imprecise approach shots. How'd you like that?
Well, it sounds like the tour pros are getting ready to invade East Lake versus just
there,
play around a golf and try to win 10 million bucks at the end of the day.
There are also many shaped fall offs where the course relies on short grass and steep chipping hollows behind the putting surfaces rather than soft sand bunkers. So off target shots may catch these and roll off the slopes into penalties or water hazards. We have strategic bunker placements, placing them directly in modern driving landing zones, forcing players to think very carefully on the tee box before they just bomb the ball. And finally, the thick, mature rough, strictly managed and increased prior to major events like this event, helps ensure unpredictable lies that drop very down heavily into the soil layer of the rough. Now, weather's going to be short and sweet, John. The weather for the 2026 Tour Championship in East Lake Golf Club is expected to heavily impact the tournament through punishing heat, high humidity, and the typical threat of afternoon thunderstorms. This tournament concludes a grueling 3-week stretch of extreme weather across the FedEx Cup playoffs. Extreme heat and humidity often has times dubbed this course, this 3-week tournament schedule stretch, as the FedEx Cup. I kind of like that, the FedEx Cup, okay? Due to recent historically brutal summers, the final stretch in Atlanta will bring intense humidity and high temperatures. Players and caddies will face physical exhaustion, making stamina, hydration, and pacing critical factors in who walks away with a $10 million prize, okay? Afternoon thunderstorms are customary in late August in Atlanta. The field must navigate unstable afternoon weather conditions with pop-up storms and persistent threat of lightning that could suddenly suspend play and force players to handle multi-factor delays and altered tee schedules. That might have to do a day and a half in one day. Oh, such a brutal life, right? I wish I had that life. Okay.
But
Now,
Bill, I'm just for our viewers out there. It's like the last 2 or 3 PJ Tour events. You actually predicted not necessarily the winner, but the winning score.
oh, I'm going to get into that. There we go. Yes. And I'm going to do it again, I hope.
Okay, let's
Now,
hear it.
we have softened greens, the heavily downpours, and rain's going to slow down the fairways, hold up approach shots. So it is going to be a target fest, and the winds are currently expected to be a non-factor with light breezes at best, which means players are not going to have to combat heavy gusting winds. So this is going to be physical heat on the course, and dampness are our primary obstacles. So after Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of a low 90s and sunny skies, okay, Thursday brings a 70% chance of thunderstorms with a high of 88. This continues with a 40% chance of thunderstorms at 89 degrees on Friday. Saturday, we'll have a little break from the thunderstorms for some sunshine with a high of 87. And we're going to finish up on Sunday with 92 degrees and a 30% chance of thunderstorms, which means the fairways are going to be slow. You're going to have to
Well,
carry your
okay,
distance.
so we got the weather, pretty much the worst parts of the Bible, Bill. How many under par is going to win this tournament?
All right. This year's Tour Championship is expected to be a target fest. So historically, the low scar was 23 under par by Tiger Woods in 2007. Now, I don't think anybody's going to get that low, okay? I think we might say they're going to have a score somewhere between 18 or 19 under par. In fact, I'm going to say 19 under par. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Wyndham Clark and Rory McIlroy. I think Scheffler's out of the picture on this one. I'm going to say Wyndham Clark is going to win and McIlroy is going to come in second, 2 strokes behind. So make your bets. I got the score last time. If you remember, I predicted a low of 17 last week for the BMW Championship, and I hit that one spot on. And I got the one the
We
week
know,
before
Bill. We
too.
know.
Okay. I didn't get the right winner, but I got the score. Okay, so I'm going with Clark and McIlroy. All right. Now, once again, it's going to be brutal out there, John. It's going to be hot. Okay. It's going to be humid. Okay. Players are going to be stepping over other caddies as they're dragging their player off to the side of the course. And it's going to be very intense. And it should be a very exciting weekend. All right. Now, woohoo! This is Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report. And I'm going to be coming to you live remotely from the FedEx Cup Tour Championship in East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia, and from the Backyard Golf Association in Gainesville, Florida. Wild Bill is signing out. I'm going to head over to the world of Coca-Cola. They have a Coca-Cola
Oh,
museum in Atlanta, okay, right next to the
yeah,
aquarium, all right? It
yeah.
explores the history of this famous beverage and features a tasting room where you can actually sample over 60 versions or flavors of Coca-Cola from around the world. Believe it or not, there's
Well,
quite a range
yeah,
of distinct flavors, okay? And I'm
yeah.
going to try every one of them, which means I'm going to be hopped up on caffeine and sugar, all right? Moving like a Georgia Bulldog and on a mission to relive the glory days, okay? And I'm going to be heading downtown to scope out some of Atlanta's famous fried chicken, their soul food, possibly at Mary Mac's
Yeah,
Tea Room, the Busy Bee Cafe. We got to check
yeah.
out their collard greens, their mac and cheese, and their homemade cornbread, along with the lemon pepper wings. And for dessert, it's going to be peach cobbler, peach tarts, peach bacon, I don't know, peach whatever, right? But I do feel a strong, persistent calling from the varsity. Okay. Now, if you've never been to the
Absolutely. Yeah,
varsity, okay, the
yeah.
varsity is the world's largest fast food restaurant in the world. It's like two huge city blocks at this point now.
Oh, yeah.
Renowned for its worldwide chili dogs, slaw dogs, or tell them to leave your dog naked. It is up to you. Okay. And their famous onion rings, the world famous frosted orange shakes, or known more locally as the FO shake. Or I even remember sometimes I heard on the street they called it the mofo shake. Now, I remember going to the varsity way back when I was a little kid driving down with my dad and my mom, okay? And they were in a little 62 Corvette, and I'm sitting on the middle rail there, and we'd hit the varsity on the way down, and we hit the varsity on the way back as we're passing through Atlanta, man. And if you're looking for me later, John, check out the varsity. Otherwise, don't call me till morning because I'm going to be in a frosted orange glucose coma, what the locals call an FO coma, or on the street, the mofo coma. Woohoo, John, back to you.
Well, and there you have it. You've been listening to Mic'd Up on the PGA Tour featuring Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report. I'm your host, Mic'd Up PGA broadcaster John Rager. Be sure to visit us everywhere online at social media at Wild Bill Stereau or at
Woohoo.
John Rager PGA. And please remember this, always carry an umbrella in case it rains. See you next week.